Boy, it's been a rough week, but I'm excited today because Judy Crawley is coming. She's a resident of Cleveland. She had a record recording, and she was signed on by Chart Records, and I've never met her. It's going to be an exciting show. Do you go by Judy Crawley or Judy Robinson?
I go by Judy Crawley Robinson.
Right, yeah.
But a lot of times if I sing, I shorten it so nobody has any trouble, so it's Judy Crawley.
Do you still perform any?
When there's a place to perform, I do. Last 2 months, my son and I decided we'd just go to karaoke, and I enjoyed that so much.
Where was it? Where'd you go at?
That was at Pokey's, and then they closed down. I just got comfortable going in there, and then they closed it down.
That's a comfortable place. It never was a rough place, was it?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I hadn't been in years until they started having this karaoke contest.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get involved in that. Of course, I didn't win, but, there were some good singers.
What song did you sing?
I sang an Anne Murray song. Gosh, how did that go?
Whenever you read a story in the newspaper or see something on television about somebody getting arrested, you naturally assume they're guilty. Unless the story is about you or someone you love, then you'll think differently. And you'll want a lawyer who will defend you. My name's Scott Canavis. If you or someone you love has been charged with a crime, call me. I'll return your phone calls, I'll work on your case, and I will defend you.
Has music, do you like all kinds of music, or is it just...
I like all kinds of music.
A lot of your songs are in that early, that you sang were in that early 70s genre, right?
We kind of had a style of our own, I think.
It was, remember Mary Tyler Moore when she threw the hat up? That was the type of music.
Right.
That was the era. Almost evolved into soap opera.
Right.
What was that lady's name? Miller, that sang. So your songs go with that flow of hers.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Anne Murray.
Anne Murray?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're talking about Anne Murray.
Yeah, is that the one I'm thinking about? Like
"I'll Just Fall in Love Again" was the name of the song I did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like
it's almost
a Burt Bacharach type.
Oh, you couldn't have picked a better person.
It's that type
everything he did, I loved. Everything. Sorry to butt in.
That's right. But that's exactly his more melody, I guess.
Did you read the Bandcamp article?
I have not read the Bandcamp article. Is that the Lost Chronicles of
the Lost
Chronicles
Career? The Lost Career of Judy Crawley. And it was really a fluke that it all came about, but the writer he'd done famous writings, and he happened to know my son from college. And Aaron put my songs on Facebook one time, and he tells the whole story and a lot of the history of what Chattanooga was going through at the time that these songs were written, and that My April Morning was cut at Chattanooga recording studio by Paul Gray.
Did he have a recording studio at that time, Paul Gray?
Oh yeah, I recorded there. That's where I recorded that song. And the writers one of the writers was Rick Hall, which he turned out to be very, very famous. But right after I had recorded My April Morning, then all the musicians and Rick Hall ended up going to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and he was the one that founded Fame Recording Studio. So he made a big name for himself, but he wrote my song. You know, him and some fellow named Johnson, I don't know who it was, it's probably one of the musicians there, but he was the one that recorded me and produced me on the record, and he did a good job. But I just had gone down there, and evidently they had the songs written for me.
How old were you then?
19. Yeah.
Well, how did you get there? How did you get there from Cleveland to... Where was you raised?
In Cleveland.
I mean, which street?
Well, let's see. I was raised on Jordan Avenue and 20th. And then...
Well, that's where my grandmother lived. My grandmother lived, Laverne Ornby.
Oh, really?
Did you know her?
I don't know.
She lived in the yellow house on Jordan, on the corner of Jordan and 20th.
I lived on the corner of Jordan and 20th.
Well, that'd have been across the street in the brick house.
No, we didn't have a brick house. It was right there on the corner of 20th Street. It seems like it was 1985, Jordan Avenue, something like that.
But it wasn't a brick house?
Mm-mm.
They had a
Had a little porch on the
screen
front.
porch, like a not screen, but had windows.
Yeah,
on
I had
the porch.
windows on the porch.
Yeah.
But
Well, my grandmother lived across the street in the yellow house.
did you
little
know
yellow
where the
house.
Insleys lived? They lived right next door to me. She was a teacher.
To the left of you, if you're facing your house.
To the right of me. If you're facing the house, yes, to
Yeah.
the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you believe, this is a crazy story, that you won't believe this, but I used to go spend the night at my grandmother's house on the corner of Jordan and 20th, in that little bitty house.
Yeah.
It had a little parking spot in the back.
Right.
And I'd sit and watch Gunsmoke, and I could see that house. In my mind, it was brick. Maybe it's not, but it was the corner house on Jordan.
Well, we moved out in '66. Dad built a house.
I guess I was probably 5 or 6 at the time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to Arnold, and then I went to Stewart, and then back to Arnold, and it became Cleveland High School because I was one of the first graduating classes, or the first graduating.
Were you
class.
into singing then?
Oh, big time. Yes. You know Tom Rowland?
Yeah. Oh,
Well, he had me in a lot of stuff.
Radio, because he was into radio, right?
Yeah, he was in the radio, but when something would come up, he would, which is like the Dayton Strawberry Festival. They had participants there that sang, and you know, it was a contest, and Miss Strawberry Festival Queen, and he wanted me to be in that, so I represented Cleveland by doing that, and then there was the fairgrounds. I went out there and I sang. Oh gosh, what did I sing? Harper Valley PTA. Can you believe
Of all
that?
things,
Of
right?
all things.
Yeah.
And that's just what it was. And I was a fairest of the fair at the fairgrounds. So that's why I was singing there. But anyway, he just kind of nominated me to do a lot of things, and he helped me out a little bit.
What was the songs at the time?
Oh gosh.
Harper Valley PTA, was that a popular song at that time?
Yeah, that was it. And let's see. Oh, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Oh, here goes. It's blank. I can't think of her name, but Billy Joe, off the Tallahassee
Yeah, Billy
Bridge.
Joel.
What was her
Oh,
name?
don't tell me. Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie.
I even sung that one
Yeah.
too.
Did you ever see that movie?
I don't,
Where,
probably,
where he was, yeah, it was a sad movie.
probably in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it was
that was the beginning. That was sort of towards the ending of the hippie era, right?
Yeah, yeah. I never was a hippie, but
Your music was just
coming out of the hippie stage.
coming out of the hippies.
Yeah, and I did. Me and Scotty Ramsey had a gig in Chattanooga where we sang just everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just all kinds of. I sang a lot of the older music. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I sang Perry Como stuff. That's where I like to be. Singing.
Why is that? It's more in the melody
I
stuff.
think my mother was really good at piano and could, you know, she played by ear and she could pick up anything. And she was playing for me when I was very young and I was singing. But it took me a while to get brave enough to sing out in public. And it was a lot of old music. So I got adapted to that older music.
When you say old, you mean 50s or late 40s?
50s, 60s, whatever she was singing. They just, you know, that was my kind
Like
of...
Glenn Miller?
Well, above that a little bit, you know. I just like those kind of songs. The older, I don't know why I can't think of anything right now.
I can't think of any. I can't think. I get on here sometimes and I can't think of my name.
And I Love You So was a Perry Como song that I did. I should have brought my list because I can't think of a thing right now.
Do you think that you could? What makes a singer remember all the words? See, that would be one of my problems. Just remembering the words.
I'm having that problem now with the musical, which I need to plug.
Before you went and sang at these things, did you practice and practice and practice?
Oh, yes.
Or did you just go and do it?
Practice. You have to practice. You can't just get up there and do it. I did one song that I'd never done before in a little studio when I was in Nashville, with meeting up with some friends, and they were supposed to sing with me, and they were behind me. And that was Don't It Make Your Brown Eyes Blue? Yeah, I had never sung that before, and sung it without any problems whatsoever. But the music was in front of me. I knew the words and I knew the tune. I mean, didn't know the words, but I knew the tune, and I got through it perfectly. And I've got it recorded. It's on my phone.
Well, you've got a lot of songs on Disco Dog too, right? Are they Disco Dog or?
I don't know what's Disco Dog, but SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And Disco Dog, I think.
I don't know if I do on Disco Dog. Maybe I do, and I don't know. I found stuff about myself I never did know was out there.
Now, this Bandcamp, they sort of highlight older and independent artists.
Right.
In the singing, songwriting.
Right.
Boy, there's a big need for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are nobody that have, you know, great voices and do great music, but nobody knows who they are.
One time I met Hank Snow.
Oh my!
And I never will forget what he said.
It's Little Jimmy.
That was the guy from Canada. You know, Hank Snow.
I know who you're talking about.
And he said. I don't know why I remembered this, but I just remember he said, there's a lot of people that sing real good in the shower that don't become artists, that don't become famous.
Yeah. Oh, there's a ton. Many. Look at my brother for that matter. I mean, he was fantastic.
Well known.
Yeah. And
now, did he, when you were at...
I'll tell you how it all started.
Okay.
If you want.
Yeah.
When my brother was playing at the Playlake Club, that's where Paul Gray owned it. And so he would take me with him. I was underage, but he'd take me with him. Every now and then they'd let me sing a song. And nobody really knew if I could sing or not. They just let me sing. And I didn't get enough practice at it. But that's how I met Paul Gray. And then he came up to me one night and suggested that I come and record at a studio. And I said, well, I don't have the money for that. He said, don't worry about the money. I just want you to come in and record a song. I don't know if what he was doing it for, advertisement or just his control people or letting them work or whatever. But that's what I did. And I just went in and I got a sample of the music that I needed and learned it and went down and recorded it one day.
Was it played very much in mainstream?
Locally, maybe. Now, the chart one that Slim Williamson produced in, actually we recorded in South Carolina, but he was in Nashville.
Was that chart records?
Chart Records, Lynn Anderson was on Chart Records. And then she went on, and then I came along, and Tommy. And we both had signed with them, and we were supposed to get 2 records. Well, come to find out, Slim and I did not get along. And so somehow we got 1 record out of the deal, and we were supposed to get 2. And it was, I had a promoting manager at the time, and this particular song, What Did You Do Last Night to Make Me Love You, was a cute little song. And Bobby Gentry, that's who I was trying to...
Gentry.
I knew it would come around sometime.
Eventually.
Yeah, it's a little while. And anyway, it was the pick hit of the week in 3 major cities, and was doing well. And then the producer, Williamson, and my promoting manager got into it, and so that was the end of that.
Golly.
So my break was not that big a break, you know, but you need a promoting manager, and I had a good label. It's just that Slim Williamson was hard to get along with.
So you have to have all 3 of a good producer, a good label, and
A&R man or a promoting manager. Yeah, and that's what I needed.
Besides talent and skill, you have to have that, I guess,
Yes.
right?
Oh yes, I've knocked on all doors in Nashville. I've been to Decca, United Artists, all of them. Acuff Rose. There was a friend of mine that worked for 4-Star Publishing Company, Bob Jennings. He was a good friend of mine, and he helped me out a little bit and introduced me to the guy at Acuff Rose, and he told me that just go down into the vault, find you a song, and we'll record it. I had to be at work the next day.
Where at?
Olin. So what do? Call in sick?
Probably looking back, yeah.
Yeah, it would have taken more time.
You had too much East Tennessee in you to miss work.
Oh, gosh. Well, I didn't want to lose my house or,
Yeah.
you know.
How old were you then?
24. About 24. Yeah. And that, I mean, I walked out on a good deal. But the guy told me I had a tape that I had a bunch of my songs on it, but it was like excerpts from each song, and they were faded in, professionally faded out. And it just was perfect. And he said, well, you can sing anything. Of course, I can't, but, you know, you could sing probably the songs that are in the vault. And I just missed a big opportunity. If I didn't have to work, then I could have stayed.
What about Chet Atkins? Did you know him?
Absolutely. He was a good friend of mine. I met him through Bob Jennings at Acuff, not Acuff Rose, but 4-Star Publishing Company. We were all going out to dinner one night, and in walks Chet Atkins.
In Nashville? Mm-hmm. At what restaurant?
I don't remember. I don't remember. There's so many things that happened during that time that I met a lot of people, and I couldn't tell you, who they were.
So Chet Atkins walks in.
Chet Atkins walks in. Jimmy Dean walked in. Anyway, I met Chet, and I thought he was just the nicest person. We went out, and he had this dry humor, and he was funny. And then I was living with Mom and Dad in Nashville. Dad had been transferred over there for a short period of time. And I had just gone through a divorce, and so I had gone to Nashville to stay with them. It was around Christmas time. There was a lot of things going on, parties all over the place. And Chet Atkins would call me up. He said, hey, you need to come down to Studio B, A, C, whatever, and listen to, some star record. I can't think of the guy's name. I never can think of this guy's name. He was, I can't think of it. I'm sorry. It'll come to me in a minute.
Well, what was it like? What was Paul Gray like?
Oh, he was a super nice guy. Yeah, he was a super nice guy. I never sat around and talked to him or anything like that. He just came up and said, you want to record? I said, yes.
So he was a good guy.
He was a good guy.
And Chet Atkins, him also friendly?
Friendly guy. He would, I've been in his office. He called me and he said, I want you to meet this fellow that's from Brazil. He was a Brazilian guitarist. And he could play, just touch those strings. I mean, he was amazing. And we went out to dinner. And it was just like, I was just sort of along for the ride.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you have me around here? Why do you call me? Well, you're not squirrely like all these girls. And I said, I don't know what squirrely means, but...
Sign me up, right?
Yeah, sign me up. And I met little Jimmy Dickens. He was recording one night when I was there. And I don't know why I can't think of that guy's name. He was in that movie with Burt Reynolds and...
oh, I know who. Reed?
Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed, yeah.
Thank you so much. Jerry Reed. I was watching him record.
He had about 2 or 3 hits, didn't he?
And he was wild.
I bet he was like he was on TV.
Exactly, he was. And, but Chet was saying, he doesn't know there's a lady in here. Because he was going on and on.
So these people, are they different than people out here, or just they became famous? Or is there something
They just
really...
became famous, and, I mean, Chet Atkins was just one of the most humble people I've ever known.
He didn't sing much, did he? Mostly just a guitarist.
He could sing. But there was one song he did with a group that was funny. It was a cute video. But, yeah, he could sing.
He had what, The Entertainer?
Do what now?
Didn't he have the song The Entertainer? Was that
I don't
him?
know if he did The Entertainer or not. It was his method of playing that made him famous. And I don't know exactly what that is because I'm not a good guitarist.
But he was famous.
Oh, gosh, he was very famous.
Yeah.
And I would go to his office, and his secretary, her name was Judy also.
Oh.
Anyway, I go in his office, big office, and when you walk in, on the left, there's guitars all the way down the hall, on the wall. And, he'd pick one up, and that wouldn't be it, and pick another one up and play a little bit.
And this is in Nashville.
This is in Nashville.
So they have offices.
This is RCA.
So they have offices just like we do.
Yes.
We think of them as just riding in a car or in a bus, but
Yes.
it's a business.
Yes, it's a business. Well, he told me one time, he listened to my record, and he said, if I couldn't sign anybody right now, RCA would kill me. California, RCA. He said I couldn't sign anybody because they had Dolly Parton, they had all these people. And so I wasn't asking him to do that. I just wanted his opinion. And I wasn't pushy, you know. Like,
Maybe that was part of the problem. Reckon maybe you should have been more pushy, reckon?
maybe. I don't think Chet and I would have been friends if I was pushy.
Yeah.
He told me about his surgery and stuff. He had colon cancer, and we'd sit there at the office, and there'd be another guy come in, and they had me bartending one night, and I did not know what I was doing. He said, put some vermouth in this, and then after he drank it, he said, don't make me one like that again. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just looking for something green. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, those days were precious to me. I enjoyed myself so much when I lived in Nashville.
Did you think that at the time that, hey, this may be my career?
I don't know if I did or not. I just know that I wanted to sing. And,
Because at that age, we think we're going to live forever, right?
oh, yeah.
So,
But, go ahead.
did you, when you came back to Cleveland after Nashville, what was up then?
Looking for a job. Because I'd just gone through a divorce and I hadn't worked. We had lived in South Carolina for 3.5 to 4 years and moved to Alabama, and I never did work. And I was going to have to start all over again. And I did. I went from place to place till I landed the job at Olin, which was a good job.
Did you stay there for a while?
I just stayed there a little over a year, and then I got married again. Then I got into horses. So I used to show quarter horses. And that was one of my loves, was horses. And on top of music and everything else.
Did you listen to much Van Morrison?
Yes, I like Van Morrison. Yes. And I love his tender songs.
Now, Van Morrison, when you talk to people, they say, "Oh yeah, I like Brown Eyed Girl and Gloria,"
Oh,
but
that's not the ones I'm thinking
That's
of.
not the ones I'm thinking of. Then they know Van Morrison. He's one of the greats. Isn't he?
yeah. Oh, he's great on slow song.
He's great on maybe every song.
Yeah. Well,
Like what's one of his slower songs? I know he's got.
It was just about to go through my head. I can't.
I've been to about 4 of his concerts.
Oh, did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he has a cult following.
Wow.
I mean, it's really a big deal to go to one of his concerts.
I'd love to have seen him in concert. I haven't been to that many concerts.
He'll take songs and play them different, though. He'll
He
play
does
them
his
one
own
way,
thing.
and then he does it another way, and you say, "Boy, I wish he'd play it that way," but then he's playing it this way.
That's what you call style.
Boy, he's got it, and
Yeah.
he'll change up while he's even singing. And I've noticed,
Yeah.
But, with the band,
He just had style.
no guru, no method, no teacher. That's one of the slow
Right.
songs.
Yeah. And I think my way I sing is my own style also. And it's people I've heard that I really liked, and I've taken bits and pieces and put it to me the way I like it.
You could sing with Nora Jones. You know Nora Jones? Boy, she's good,
Yeah.
isn't she?
I could do some of her stuff.
She's the female. She's the female version of Van Morrison,
Right.
in my opinion.
She can sing softly.
Very softly
Yeah.
and meaningful.
Right. I'm kind of a belter, but when I get comfortable, like I did when I was working in Chattanooga with a friend of mine, it was really easy, to get softer with the microphone and sing a ballad or whatever. But I really loved it.
Yeah, your songs are sort of a story, a story which came out of the 50s that were more ballads.
Right. Well, basically, yeah. It was kind of My April Morning was kind of a ballad, and Childhood Dreams is just on its own.
That song reminds, that is,
That needs to be a movie.
there should be, yeah.
To be a movie theme song.
You could take Childhood Dreams, and that's a poem.
It is a poem. Yeah, the guy that wrote it, you know, he was very talented. He was a piano player. He played on the original recordings I did at Chattanooga Recording Studio.
He wasn't from around here, right?
Yes, he was.
Oh, was he?
Tim Henson.
Tim Henson. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, and he was also one of them that ended up at Fame Recording Studio. Yeah. I mean, I thought that was amazing that the people that I first recorded with ended up being, you know, founding Fame Recording Studio. And to think that I was this little kid sitting there singing and looking up at the where they were producing the song or recording the song, I had no idea, you know, that they would have been that famous.
Well, you never know. You never know what makes it work.
Yeah, and the song, I've always wanted to somehow get in touch with him and say, hey, look, you know, you wrote the song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, both of them are. The pick was Maple Morning. That was the one that was supposed to have been played more, but my favorite is Childhood Dreams because it reminds me of childhood. And everything about it. It was so unique. You know,
that song, you can look at it 3 or 4 different ways, but to me, it's that not just childhood dreams, but how it really is not going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out. It can be a sad song too.
Right. Or you want to go back and do your childhood again. Could be that way too.
It could be that way.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of philosophy in music, isn't there?
There is. My son he's really talented. He can come up with the words and the music, and it's just fabulous how he does it.
Do you think most of it is poetry, or is it, because you can't really say it's all poetry?
I think a lot of times it's stories, and people want to get an idea across, or it's a feeling.
I think it's more of a they're wanting you to experience your feelings in that song, and it may not even be what they meant. It's just allowing you to live through the song in a weird way.
Right. Well, you compare it to your own life in some way.
In some way, it can be
totally
not even relevant to the song.
Right.
You know, like some songs there's some songs I can't stand today because I was doing something that I couldn't stand when I heard the song.
I know what you mean.
I mean, it's so bizarre.
Or going through a bad time.
Bad time, and you remember that, like Steely Dan. I can't stand to listen to it. I'm sure they're a great band, but it's just so bad.
Oh, there was
memories of that period.
Right. There was a lot of songs that were going on that I actually liked.
Has nothing to do with that.
No, but it reminded me of some bad times.
What would be one of those songs?
Shoot. I can't think of one right now. One of those songs. Desperado.
Oh, I hate that song.
I love to sing that song.
Does that bring back bad memories?
Kinda. There was a lot of stuff going on in my life, but I was singing it a lot.
That was about, what, 78?
Yeah. Desperado. I did
That was Eagles, right?
Yes. But I took the Karen Carpenter version. I liked it better.
Was it faster?
It was slow. It was the same tempo. and it's just her voice was so good, and I really liked her voice. You know, that she was really popular back then when I was singing with groups and stuff. And Mr. Higgins, Krill Higgins, was a band director at Cleveland High School, and we would perform at Bradley High School in some function, and we had a group that could sing like crazy. And I remember we all got together one time and went up to where I don't know if it's the Holiday Inn or whatever, it's way up on the hill.
Yeah, it used to be a Holiday Inn.
We'd go up there when there was nothing there and sing off that hill.
Oh, well, it was a good view, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Had the 2 benches, wasn't there? 2 benches there, I think.
But that's where, and it sounded tremendous, you know. We had such a good bunch of singers.
Well, music has really, really evolved.
Yes, it has. You would think nobody could write something different.
That's what I keep thinking. How are they going to come up with something different?
They always can, because it's just it's a big world with music, you know.
You know, I think of that song, Islands in the Stream. You know, Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton did it.
And Barry Gibb.
Yeah, and in my opinion, Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers just thought they could sing it till the Bee Gees got a hold of it.
Yeah.
And they even did it better.
Didn't they write it? I thought the Bee Gees wrote it.
I don't think so. I may be
They
wrong.
They wrote a lot of stuff.
Well, that was a good song, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Islands in the Stream. Yeah, it was a great song. Yes, I love it.
But you know that, I don't know why people have to connect youth with good music and songs you want to listen to, because that to me is not true at all. But that's the way it goes, I guess, right now, right?
No, little, yeah. Yeah. The music that I liked when I was 20 is the same music I like now.
You don't get into any more of the music like currently? Like,
Yeah, some of it.
Like Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a lot
You
of...
can't not like that, can you?
No. Leanne Rimes.
Oh, I love Leanne Rimes.
I did
yeah.
one of her songs one night at karaoke.
What was that? Which song was that?
You keep asking me these questions.
I know,
you
and I can't. It's easy to ask them. It's hard to answer. So yeah, I know which one I bet I know which one you're talking about, because in the video, she was on top of a bus.
I don't know. I never saw the video, but it was. I have to go back into my memory.
You remember Gwen? Gwen's good on that. It was like I can, something like that.
This was about her and her boyfriend or husband or whatever, and I cannot think of the way it goes. I'm sorry.
I can't think either. But yeah, I like
I've got it
Leanne.
on my phone.
I like Leanne. You know, I've got it on my computer too. But she only had 3 or 4 hits in my.
This one wasn't a big hit.
No, it was just people that really liked her,
Yeah.
liked her song.
Right.
It's like Van Morrison. If you don't like Van Morrison, you don't like any of his songs. But
No.
I like everything he does, even if it's bad.
Right. Oh well, you know, that's great.
But
I felt for people like me when I'm bad.
what about Debbie Gibson?
Oh, I liked her too. As far as the songs, I like the songs. She got a pretty good range.
Really, real good range.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was trying to sing one of hers. My son had recorded some songs that I was doing, and I was trying to pick out a song, and one of hers came to mind. And I usually have to record it in the key that they recorded it in to begin with, and she had a range higher than mine, so I'd rather not destroy you know, sound bad trying to get up there.
See, I don't understand all that ranges. That gets out of my. I don't understand. I don't know any of that stuff. Keys, C a key. I know nothing about all that.
Well, I majored in music at Cleveland
So
State.
they taught you that.
Yeah, they taught us a lot of stuff.
Prior to that, did you understand that?
Yes, I could
Key?
read music.
See, I know that's all Greek to
I
me.
was always in the band, and I played the trombone of all things, and I read music back then, and can sight read, you know, vocally some. I'm struggling with it a little bit because I haven't done it in so long, and with this musical coming up, which I wanted to plug.
Yeah,
Connie,
what is that?
That is the Wizard,
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard
that's right.
of Oz.
Yeah, Tammy got me to donate to that.
Tammy Bentley.
Yeah. Boy, she's good. Isn't she great,
Yeah.
isn't she?
Yeah,
She's
a sweet
She's a
girl.
big promoter of it.
Yeah, she
so when
is.
is that, in March?
March the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And it will be at the Dixon Center. And Connie Gatlin is the producer and director, and she always does a fantastic
She does a great job.
Yes, does a really
She's
good job.
underrated.
She is underrated. Yeah, she needs. I mean, what we're trying to do is get her own place to be able to perform and practice, because now we're practicing at the ballet studio, Bangarang Productions. Anyway, sort of switching out when they get through with their practice, and so we can go in and rehearse.
And
we
put
need a
stuff
place.
back up and everything.
Well, we need a place of our own.
Why the Wizard of Oz?
I don't know. It was
Just what she
it's
chose?
just what she wanted to do. Now, the last one she did, Mary Poppins, and it was fantastic. I wasn't involved in that one, but it was fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I remember back growing up, when Wizard of Oz was coming on, you made sure you're ready to sit at the TV and watch the Wizard of Oz. And well, that movie,
That movie scared me to death when I was a kid.
well, it's got so many levels.
Yeah, I know.
You know, some people portray that as the Wizard of Oz is God, and they look at it in that. And I don't know if that's a true parallel or just
I don't
somebody
look at
trying
it like that. I just think it's fantasy. You know, it's just.
See, I like to look. I want to look behind the curtain and see if the wizard is, you know,
Well, he's just a normal person when it comes down to it.
that was a good movie though,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
was. I mean, I was fairly young when it first came out, and I was scared to death of it. It wasn't the flying monkeys. It was just the fact that Dorothy was lost. You know, she was in a
See,
tornado.
you were watching that show in relation to your age at the
Right.
time. So it depends. A lot of times it depends on what age you are when you watch a movie, who you relate to in the
Right.
movie.
Yes. I asked my mother if she was watching it, please turn it off. She just laughed. She just laughed.
What was it? Her shoes sold for not some unbelievable amount. The red slippers.
I don't know what they sold for.
It was like tons of money on.
I'm sure.
Listen to this.
Okay. Oh, that's Childhood Dreams.
Candy canes, aeroplanes, tie a towel around your neck and fly. Cowboy clothes and car Look at me, what you believe. I'm still afraid of the boogeyman. My faith was strong, and now it's gone. God help me be a child again.
So, do you tend to levitate towards sadder songs?
Oh, absolutely.
How come?
I don't know. I just like them. I like the way it makes me feel.
Sad?
No, it's just a projection of myself, I guess. I feel comfortable with doing those kind of songs. It's not just necessarily sad. It's a slow song. I do slow songs better.
But do you think it's the slow, sad songs or just the slow songs?
Both. A little bit of both. I mean, I've done Summertime. That's a slow song, but it's not sad.
No. April Morning?
Yeah, that was a sad song. But it was upbeat, you know. And Childhood Dreams, of course, it's very meaningful to me, the whole song, because it brings back childhood memories.
So you don't see it as things, you know, it says Superman wasn't that strong. Tootsie Rolls don't last that
as
long.
You're in reality
Now,
is
that sad?
Yes.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
it's
sad.
just really
Well, that's a
is.
very sad song. But you're...
Or is it that that it's still okay that Superman wasn't that strong and Tootsie Rolls don't
Yeah,
last
you
that
come
long?
to
It's
the
still okay.
Yeah, you come to the realization things just didn't turn out the way you thought they would, more or less.
Well, nothing does it?
No.
It's so...
No, it doesn't. I think in my life I've been through a lot, but I've been lucky, and I've got to do some really good things, and I'm still doing them.
And you're having fun at it.
I'm having fun at it.
What part were you playing in The Wizard of Oz?
Oh my goodness! Well, you're gonna laugh. I play a crow. We've got several crows. I play the Twinkies. They're the ones that go doo 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 doo. And I'm playing Poppies. This is who puts Dorothy to sleep. So, and then I sing with the whole group. So, the different songs.
How long's the show gonna last?
I have no idea.
Because The Wizard of Oz is a long show.
Yeah, it'll be. I've been afraid to say, you know, because I don't really know how long it'll be. We haven't even timed it yet. I mean, there's so many things we've yet to do.
How are they going to do the Yellow Brick Road? Maybe with a rug or something? Or?
I don't know. We haven't even got to where we're going to perform it yet. We haven't even been able to practice there. We haven't been able to put up equipment.
Well, she's got a big job, doesn't she?
She has a major big job, yes.
That had to be stressful to me.
I think she enjoys it. I think it's rewarding.
It's a labor of love, that's for sure.
It's a labor of love, yeah.
Do people have to go and audition for these parts?
Yes, absolutely. Everybody has to sing.
I mean, you can't donate enough to get a place.
No.
She's going to pick the ones that are.
You better be able to do some singing.
Do they have singing in it?
Oh, yes. Lots of singing.
Because Dorothy did do some singing.
Yeah,
didn't she?
Dorothy did the singing, but there's a lot of background parts and fill-in parts, you know, just entertaining. And if you watch the movie, if you pay attention to the songs that are going on, that's what's going to be done.
Wonder who was it wrote The Wizard of Oz?
I have no idea.
Well, it's been a classic, though, hasn't it?
Well, I should know after doing what I'm doing. But I don't know.
So what's your now you've embarked, is this your hobby also, this pressed flower? Now these look so real. They are real, right?
The real flowers. Yeah, it's more of a business now than a hobby. And I started out in 2015, and what I did is I took a couple of daisies from a wedding bouquet, and I was going to press them and make a gift out of them, and to the person that got married, and I enjoyed it, and that kind of started it with me, and I thought, well, let's see what else I can do to get some more variety, and with these, I press. There's a lot of weeds in there. See,
What's the pressing process?
okay.
I mean, when I think of this, I think of Forrest Gump's Bible,
me.
where the feather was in it, or a rose in a Bible that's been there for years.
Well, I use books. That's what I use to press, and they can't be like real slick pages. They have to have a little bit of soaring properties to them, and it usually takes about 2 weeks for pansies, especially. And pansies are one of the easiest ones to press because they're pretty a flat flower to begin with. The zinnias, or these here, are thick, very thick, but I can press them down to where they're flat.
So you put them in a.
Put 'em in-
How thick's the book?
I have some books that are about that thick, but I stacked so many books on top of them to press them down.
Do you put the thing at the bottom page and press, or midway?
I put a lot of flowers in a book.
And just press the tar out of
I
it.
press the tar out of them. And sometimes they turn out, sometimes they don't. But most of the time, I've got where I pretty much know how to do it.
This one here has the color in it that is just, that's the real color. How do they keep the color?
Well, those particular roses, the red ones, do. Now, the pink ones, they want to fade a little bit at times, but I do have a way that I prepare them. I have some spray that is to protect them from UV light, and I use a spray on that. I use a matte spray on top of that.
Afterwards? Mm-hmm. But so they could still fade afterwards?
Possibly, rarely. I would say rarely.
So you put like a lacquer on them or a...
Well, it's not really a lacquer. It's just a UV protectant, and then there's a matte spray. If you have, I use glue, and sometimes the glue gets on the outside, or somewhere next to the flower, and the matte spray just covers that up, so you don't see the glue.
Oh, I see.
And I watercolor the backgrounds. I didn't do that
Like,
one.
where is the background watercolor?
This is the background. This is the background here. I did it in the blues, and used. This is a weed, and you might see me on the side of the road, picking flowers, because there's a lot of things that grow around here that don't grow in my yard. So I have to go out and locate them. And anyway, it's
Now, you can't do pine cones. They just will not smash that
no,
much, right?
couldn't do pine cones. Now I do leaves. I do lots of leaves, but I thought about bringing one of the ones I've done with the leaves. That they turn out really, really pretty.
But these colors, you could put them in. I build some expensive houses, and they'll have paintings that exactly match the decor. I mean, just go with it exact. And so you're doing these. Actually, there's thought in this color matches versus this.
Right.
So if you put this blue right over here, it wouldn't work.
No. Well, I have people that, they'll tell me I'm looking for, red to go in my decor. And I like gold frames, or I like black frames, or I like gray frames, and they'll tell me that. And then I'll pull some of those things out that I might have similar. And let them look at them and see if they'll work. I just did this about 3 weeks ago with a lady, and she bought 2 of them, and she said they're perfect. She emailed me back and said that they were perfect for her decor. And actually, I had a lady request to do the state of Tennessee in flowers. And I did that. It's on Facebook. I posted it on Facebook, but it turned out good. She was really pleased with it. But that's probably the second custom order I've ever done. Most of the time, I just do what I think might sell, and the colors are. I want my colors to be vivid.
Have you done any where the colors are not vivid, but they're a drab in a way?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a. Have you seen some of these bamboo curtains? Not curtains, but
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, they'll like it's in plate glass, and it's real expensive.
Right.
But it'll be like bamboo, or really is weeds or reeds or something.
I've seen a lot of things done with the glass. I have thought about, where you actually put the flowers in on the glass and there's no background.
Right.
I've seen those. The frames are so expensive that I haven't even bothered with it. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing because I don't want to, get into a bunch of expense and when I can sell these without much trouble.
So I noticed this tag on the back was what do you call it? Gardens of the Garden Artist. Is that what?
Well, I'm called the Garden Artist, but I'm also Impressions by the Garden Artist is the name of my business. Impressions by the Garden Artist. And Garden Artist just fits on there.
Yeah. And do you do this at home?
Yes, I do it in my house. This was a Tennessee one.
Oh, yeah. Can you see that, Gwen? Let's see.
Is that? Oh, you can do
You
it.
get more calls than I get.
I think it was my son.
Well, it's really something. You're somewhat of an artist, that's for sure.
Thank you. I hope so at this point. After years of doing this,
What gave you that idea?
just I just wanted to do the old, it's an old art. I mean, people have pressed flowers for years,
But
they don't last. That they press a flower in a book, it'll just.
well, they just pressed it literally in a book, but it wasn't done as form of an art, was it? Or
Well, no, I think it was done from memories, like an occasion or something
Yeah.
like that. But this is
does
more
anybody
professional.
do this as an art? Is this a thing, or is this?
There is one lady, an Asian lady, online somewhere. I've seen her work. It is fantastic. But that's the only one I know of. I locally know, unless there's somebody in hiding that I don't know. But I haven't seen anybody else selling them.
Do you sell them at Grit and Grace or any place like that?
I was in there for a while, but I do Christmas markets. I do a lot just from my house. Just selling from my house. I post videos and I post the pictures of them, and then I get calls from, marketplace maybe. I've got a couple ladies now that are wanting to come to my house to look at things, and if they give me an idea of what colors they want, then I can pull those out and show them right away. What I have. I can design one if a person tells me what colors they want, and frames. Frames are important. This is an expensive frame.
Which one's expensive?
Frame. Do what?
Which one's expensive?
This one's an expensive frame. They all are, actually.
What makes this one so expensive?
It was a professional frame. I found it at a thrift shop, and I can just tell it's inexpensive. It's really sturdy.
It's the perfect color, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's part of the matching deal.
Yeah.
And when I did find it, it had the mat with it. And so I pulled the picture out and then put my own in there.
Do you get any stuff from Hobby Lobby?
I get stock paper. I use their stock paper. See, this is a stock paper. That's got the gold in it and it's black.
Yeah,
I didn't watercolor that. Although now I do have some watercolors that I can do that with. But it's reflective gold.
That's really art.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I want it to be art. And, from designing, I don't really think about the design. It just kind of comes together when I start putting things together. I might have an idea of which way I want it to go or
Yeah, the direction is important too, isn't it? Like here, there's no direction.
Well,
But this is, to me, is up.
yeah, that one's
And this
kind of
one's
all
just-
over the place.
This one's more here.
Well, this one just looks like
It could
the
get like
flowers are growing out in the field.
this is going on.
Yeah.
You're just getting a picture of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weeds and grasses that I use, and they're fun to press because they always turn out so pretty. And I mean, I'll be going up to friends' houses and pulling up their weeds just so I can get the weeds that I want to press.
You ever do any lavender?
Yes, I've done lavender.
Because that would be a purple. That'd be,
Yeah, I've got lavender.
and they're long, you know.
I've used a lot of the purples before and the lavenders. I've got lavender growing.
Is there anything else besides flowers and leaves? Is there any, you could you do feathers? Will feathers press?
Yeah, you could do feathers.
Wonder, what about that thing in the middle? What do they call that?
Those
The feather?
twill.
The twill, yeah. Wonder how
You can
flat
still,
you could get it.
You can get it pretty flat because you can use like the end of you can use a hammer to flatten it out,
Heavier book, or it's got to get flat.
Well,
right?
you'd have to use an object to get it flatter.
to break the.
Yeah, and then some things don't have to be that flat. They just fit in. And
I noticed this looks like it has a little texture.
Yeah, it does. It's a little thicker,
Yeah.
but they work. They're glued
Yeah,
in
because
there.
this one is the same way too.
They're not
It
going-
almost gives it some of a 3D look.
Oh yeah, it does. I think that's one thing I'm proud of that it does look like 3D, and I've heard that before from other people, from customers. But it's an enjoyable thing to do. I mean, I enjoy it.
What music do you listen to while you're doing this?
Oh, I've got all my songs on the phone.
You listen to Fox News or you listen to
No, I don't listen to Fox News. I listen to my music.
Yeah. So it's more music than it is
Yeah, it's
TV.
all music. I've got all kinds of artists on my phone that I just plug it into my speakers and listen to it while I work.
Are you familiar with Sadie?
Uh-huh.
She's really good too.
You mean Sade?
Sade, yeah, I always call her Sadie.
Yeah,
but Sade.
Sade. Yeah, she's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her voice.
Yeah.
It's very different.
I like Nora better.
Nora.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're two different styles. You can't really compare them. I mean, they're their own beings
Right.
doing their own thing. But, you can tell when a certain person can sing and when they can't,
But Hank Williams Sr., he really couldn't sing, but he made a hit.
Yeah.
Figure that one out.
Who his dad was.
I mean, Hank Williams Sr.
Oh, senior? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He just lived to be 29.
He was real country.
Real country.
Real country is what I
And
call
couldn't
it.
sing.
Well, no, but he was popular some way.
So figure that out.
I don't know. People related to him in some way. I know I remember my grandfather singing. I'd go spend my summers on their farm, and he would be singing going all the way down to the barn. And it was a totally different ball game, It's a southern, really southern way of singing.
So maybe that's what makes some artists work.
Right.
Maybe it's the relating. Mm-hmm. So if this is art, how would it relate?
To music?
I mean, no, but if an artist sells stuff that can't sing, but it relates, then he becomes popular, right?
I think I'm following you.
let's say, for instance, Hank Williams Sr., he really didn't have that great of a voice, but he was extremely popular. So, but you say it's because evidently people related to it.
Right.
But so that's art still, right?
Oh,
His
yeah,
music.
it's still art. Yeah.
So if this is art, then it being able to sell would be how it relates to the buyer.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would have to be in color or in style or in shape.
I think most of the time it's just what a person likes, how they've decorated their home, how they want it to appear. Do they want to buy it as a gift? I've had that, a lot of people buy gifts around Christmas time, and they think, well, this person would like this, and I sold quite a few that way.
Somebody could bring you their old Bible with these things in it, and you could put them in as like a collage. Does that make sense?
If they still have their color,
Yeah.
I could.
Or the color that it's got.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that, but I could save things like that. But they would probably not have the color mine do.
But I mean, if somebody had a family Bible with these
I could
6
put it
things
together.
in there,
I could put it together.
and that could be it could be more preserved.
Right. Yes, I could do that. I might add a little something, maybe some green.
Yeah.
Because I like green. Now these, with the roses, that's actual rose petals. Mm-hmm. And
So you turned this one sideways and flattened it out.
I
What
wanted-
about these right here?
That is a cigar plant.
That looks like a rose sideways.
That's not a rose at all. That's a cigar plant. And that's an annual that I grow every year so I can press them. Then, I mean, I don't press them all. I've got flowers blooming that I like to have, and
Now that's not a cigar plant.
that's a rose.
Rose, and that's a cigar. Boy, they're the same color, aren't they?
Yeah, I matched them like
Oh.
that on purpose. And this is because of, I matched the orange. This is a totally different flower than the zinnia. And the rest, there's so many weeds in that one in particular. And this one is, it's got the weed background right in here. And then a little white flower that I put in there that you don't really even look at till you can't see it till you really get in there and look at
Right,
it.
yeah.
The little white flowers.
Yeah, that one's got more dimension as you keep looking at it. You just keep seeing more.
Right. The pansies, that particular blue, I plant those up every year because I love the color. It's just a beautiful blue color. And so many flowers you can't find that are blue.
Very few.
Very few.
There's not a lot in nature that are blue except a few flowers and some birds.
Most of the blues are close to purple. And a lot of times, too, when you press flowers, like some roses, I've got one particular rose bush, the flowers are always pressed red. And then I've got another bush that's drift rose, that if I press them, they want to darken a little bit, which they still look good, but it's not going to give me the red that I want. So I'll pick them off this one bush.
Well, you've got to pick out what you want, press it, see if it comes out the same color that you thought it was. So it's not just a matter of doing this.
No, it's not. Not at all.
You got to know what it's going to turn out.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know. I mean, it could be, I don't know, could be something in the book. Who knows?
Right.
But most of the times I do get my color that I want. Now, zinnias are funny. And I do have a way of tint. I can tint a little bit. I don't like to do it much because it takes away from the flowers, but I can use an alcohol tint. I've got powdered colors, and you use alcohol with it. And you can use a brush and put it right on the end of the stem, and it normally just pulls it down to the middle of the flower. And I don't advise a lot of people to do that because it can stain your whole countertop. It's a messy process. But sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I've had good experiences with it, and I haven't had it work well at all. So it's just and the type of flower it is. You couldn't put something like that on a pansy.
No.
No, not at all. Zinnia's got more texture, take a little bit of color, but and the roses, they're too fragile. So.
Well, this is more complicated than just looking at it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot goes into that.
There's a lot of work, a lot of thinking, a lot of practice.
What'd your first one look like?
Oh, good. That was the daisy. It looked great, and it lasted for years. And I haven't seen it in a while because it's in Nashville. So,
What else is going on?
well, that's about it. Other than, practicing, trying to remember songs at this point.
So mainly theater and this?
That's what I do. And be able to sing every now and then, even if it's karaoke. I haven't found another place to go yet.
I don't know where they have karaoke now.
I don't know. The Diving Mouse has Writers' Night, or
Oh yeah, Diving Mouse.
but I
maybe.
don't think that's karaoke. I think that's
yeah.
just performance.
Yeah.
So I'm out there, can't do that.
Anchors used to have it.
Oh, yeah, in
Years in
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, yeah.
There's got to be some places around
Or
here.
maybe the VFW. Didn't they used to have it? John Paul Douglas used to go to that all the
Yeah,
time.
I was just looking at him.
Did you know him?
I knew him well. He was a good man.
He was the best.
Yes. He helped me get my house. Sure did. Told me which one that he just got the house from me when I walked into his office.
Yeah.
And it. And
He could sell
did.
you anything, couldn't he?
He could. He certainly could. He was a wonderful person. I miss him.
I do too. I think about him all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I got his picture up there.
Yeah.
He had a way of putting things, he had a way of putting you at ease, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I was trying to remember one of the things he used to say.
If you'll start it, I can finish it because I knew him real well.
Oh, what was it? I can't think of it now. It's just, anyway, he would space his words out in a way.
Yeah. And he'd be grabbing your arm the whole time he was
That's
doing it.
right. Yeah, he would.
He was he could have helped Dale Carnegie.
Yeah,
I mean, he was that good.
yeah.
But he truly liked people.
Oh, he was a people person, no doubt. Yeah, we went to Chattanooga many times. Him and a couple other people and
Jim Hicks, maybe.
Jim Hicks.
Jim Hicks,
Oh
yeah.
Lord, I never will forget that. One night we were coming back and he took the wrong road.
Jim.
Yes,
That's
he was
a-
going toward. We were in Georgia actually, and somehow he started going instead of turning off in Chattanooga to go to Cleveland. He
Yeah.
kept going. I said, "We're going to Nashville," and John said, "Oh no."
Who else was with you?
Lana,
Lana?
yeah, and just me and John.
You know, I've had Jim on here.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. I love Jim Hicks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been.
He's
Is
still
he-
around.
he's still around?
Yeah, lives over behind Mr. Zip on Mouse Creek Road.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Boy, they were good friends.
Oh, they were really good friends. They were good business partners too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
John would know them and Jim would know their name.
Yeah.
Because John couldn't remember.
Well, I think that's why we got along, because we couldn't remember anything.
But
We
Jim
just
would
went,
know
oh,
'em.
yeah.
John would know them and Jim would know their name. It
That's
was a
right.
funny combination. There was another guy that ran with them during that period, I believe. I want to say Paige. It was one of
no.
John's girlfriends there for a while. Can't think of her name. Boy, he was something else, wasn't
Yes, he was. That almost came to me to
he?
see.
Me too.
So sorry, something.
He used to say, "Do you want fries with that?" Why do you always say that? I don't know why he said, "Do you want fries with that?"
Serious.
Syria.
He used to say, "Now that's just serious."
Yeah.
I knew it'd come to
And then
me.
he got there for a while where he'd say, "Oh, police."
No police. Oh, he was an entertainer. He really was.
You know, he got to where he could sing pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
But at first, he couldn't sing a lick.
Oh, really?
None.
Well, he got a karaoke
He learned.
machine
Yeah, he got a
now.
machine.
Yeah, we all went to his house one night.
I did too. I
You
was
were
probably
there?
there when you were there.
You probably were.
That was when he was dating, I
Was
can't
it
think,
blonde-headed girl
before her.
before her?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Would get him
You're
in
talking about
trouble.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Ruby. I
don't
want to
know.
say Pat, but that's not right. I just can't think of her name. Boy, the women loved him, didn't they?
Yeah. He was just fun.
He was fun.
Yeah. He was, I mean, he'd take you out and buy your drinks and food, and then you just go home.
He was a gentleman too,
Yes,
wasn't he?
he was a
He was a
gentleman.
gentleman.
He always told everybody, "She won't kiss me goodnight. She won't kiss me goodnight." And I never
He
did.
used to say, if I kidnap her, will you pay the ransom?
Yeah.
I never really knew what that meant,
Well,
but it was a
just-
joke to him. If I kidnap her, will you pay the ransom?
He had the best laugh of anybody.
Oh, it was funny.
I know.
It was so funny, and he used to tell this one joke that he could not get to the end of the joke
Without laughing?
before he stopped. I never did hear the end of the joke because he could not tell it without laughing.
It sounds like it. Oh, mercy. Well, anyway, this has been a good Sunday
This has really
afternoon.
been great, and I appreciate it. Where do people find your art?
Well, right now, I've got some things at Hetzel Art Gallery. That's in the old woolen mill. I have one piece that I need to take some more to the museum center. And they can go to my Facebook page and leave me a message. You know, if they see something they like, I've got videos that play all the time. Mm-hmm. And mainly you just need to come to my house and go through my stuff and see what you like. That's the best way to do it. Or let me make you one. You just tell me what you need.
Judy, you're a wonderful person.
Well, thank you.
Cheers to John Paul J.P. Douglas.
Yes, cheers to John Paul. He was the best.